Do you have any home remedies for when you're sick?
Most of the time, if I'm sick in like a kind of run-of-the-mill under-the-weather way, I'm denying it for way longer than I'm doing anything about it.
Okay, all right. That's fair. Yeah, that's totally fair. In your head, you're just like, I'm fine. Those aches and pains, those are the normal aches and pains that you get. That hacking cough, I always have that hacking cough.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like you're a tea drinker too when you're sick. I feel like, you're like, oh, let me have some.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if you're doing like herbal tea, there's no caffeine in it. So it's mostly hydrating. But if you put a big old spoonful of honey in it like I do, then iffy.
I put Sanka powder in my tea.
What the heck is that?
It's just like coffee powder.
Welcome to Butter No Parsnips. Every week on Butter No Parsnips, your hosts Kyle Imperator and Emily Moyers take you on an adventure through the weird, wacky, wonderful, and sometimes even wicked world of one wayside word. Strange characters, delightful bits, and general joyousness abound. Join them as they test each other's etymological expertise.
Hey everybody, welcome to Butter No Parsnips. I'm Emily Moyers.
And I'm Kyle Imperator, and boy howdy, Emily, today, you're going to get better. I don't know what's bad, but you're going to get better.
I've been waiting.
Only, 500 episodes in, and I'm finally telling you.
We're finally going to get better?
Things will get better. Starting today,
wow.
It's all going to turn around. And it's all thanks to this little word that I'm about to tell you. Your word today is Jujube. Jujube, Jujube, or Jujube if you're a frickin' maniac, but some people pronounce it that way.
Wow. Is this like...
Do you know this word?
I mean, if it was Jujube with two E's, I would feel more like I've heard it.
Why, though?
I'm trying to figure out if it's like a brand.
It's a drag queen. It's Jujube with two E's. Yeah.
I feel like it's also something else. I don't know. But I definitely haven't heard this as a word. Is there anything I can do etymologically here? Is there any breaking down I can do that I'll recognize?
Absolutely not.
Okay, cool.
Nothing that can be done.
All right.
I mean, I'll tell you that it's from Latin and Greek.
Okay.
It's not going to help you.
It's from Latin and Greek. As in the word has been used in both, or different parts of the word are from different languages?
The word has been used in both.
Okay. So Jujube with two eyes.
We'll get into that.
Oh.
We'll get into that.
Okay.
With two eyes. Wow, good. Your mind's in the right place, Em.
Well, I mean, if it came from Latin, those J's weren't always J's. What part of speech is this?
This is a noun.
Can you have Jujubes, plural?
You often do.
You often do. Is this like a physical thing?
Yep.
Huh.
I mean, I'll say that, it comes from Latin and Greek, so it's an old word.
Sure. But
the modern usage of it comes from the 1800s, thereabouts, maybe 1700s.
I mean, based on the question at the top, that does give me a sort of frame of mind, but I would also like a one-word hint.
Emily, your one-word hint is sweet.
Sweet. So is this a lozenge, a cough drop?
Emily! Yes, it is. You got it.
Nice.
Wow. Wow, you got it, Em. Finally, I gave a good hint.
That was a very good hint. That did give it right away.
Yeah, Emily, a jujube is a lozenge or cough drop or candy or gumdrop, sometimes medicated to soothe sore throats.
A jujube. Wow.
A jujube. Isn't it a fun word?
It's
God,
I love it. Wild word. I cannot wait to hear more.
Wild word. God, you're not even going to believe where this word comes from. Doesn't make any sense, Emily.
Please tell me.
More time than I should have trying to figure out why this word is what this word is. Because no one knows, really.
Oh, well, all right.
I mean, we kind of know.
Okay.
So we believe that jujube comes from the classical Latin words zizupum or zizupus, from the ancient Greek zdizupon, all referring to a plant. More on that later.
Okay. This makes sense,
Talk about the
though.
plant later.
The fact that it comes from a plant
sense, right?
tracks in my head.
Right. Does it make sense that it comes from words Zidzupon and Zdizdupon.
I can, yes.
It reads like Ziziphum, is how it reads.
So like are they Z's?
Zizyphum. Ziziphum.
Yeah, I mean, the J sound is kind of weird. The J and the J are close, and the J we usually digraph with a Z sometimes. So there's a lot of muddiness in this weird like combinations of consonant sounds.
Emily, you're hitting all the right notes here. My question for you was going to be, how the heck does the Z turn into a J? How does it happen?
Yeah.
Right? Because I was looking into this and I was like, well, it's got to be UUB. And it's just not. It never was. It was never UUB. Well, that's not true. In English, it was UUB before we had J's. But yeah. But the simple answer is, and the answer that I always want to give is, we can blame the French.
This makes sense. Because it's Jujube.
Jujube, right, basically. So Old French didn't use the Z sound, or what we call the voiced alveolar fricative. It didn't use the Z. So instead, used the Z letter to represent the T sound. Take, for example, a form of the Latin verb for to sing, cantatis, became an Old French Chantez, pronounced chantites, spelled the same in modern French, but pronounced chanté, right? The Z became silent. So we think that in order to approximate the Z sound, French replaced it with other consonants. They just kind of guessed. Alternate spellings from the Mediterranean Old Occitan language, which probably influenced the Old French, include chichulo, Chichoulo, gigulo, Gigoulo, and jusibo, Jousibo. So I went through a lot of transmutations, right? And then the Old French eventually settled on jujube.
Yeah.
Right.
The CH one makes a lot of sense because ch is the unvoiced version of j. That's the voiced. They're like two paired consonants, and one, your mouth makes the same shape, but the J engages your vocal cords and a CH does not, but they're the same shape in your mouth.
Yeah, great to note that. A similar event may have occurred with the word jealous, which we know it meaning envious, right? The Latin zelosus was adapted into the Old French gelos, Gelos, then to the Middle English gelus, Gelus, then both later taking on the initial J and softening to jealous. Here we can plainly see the difference because zelosus was later adopted directly by Middle English as zelose, whence we get the doublet zealous, meaning ardent or fervent.
That's interesting. I would not have, I mean, it sounds silly to say I would never have connected the words zealous and jealous, but like meaning wise, they feel further apart. So that's super interesting.
Yeah, because like one has like a generally positive connotation, the other one has a generally negative connotation. Zealous is kind of like somebody who's fervent in like a proud way, where jealous is like envious and miserly, jealous,
Well, but I mean, a zealot isn't usually framed in a positive way.
Yeah, that came later. But yes, you're right, yeah. And it's certainly all more complicated than that. We don't really know how the Romans and the ancient Greeks pronounced their zeta symbol.
Yeah.
It could have been zde, could have been ze, could have been both. Yeah. It's kind of weird, but we'll leave the rest of that to the phonologists. I don't know. That's more than I'm getting paid for here. Instead, Emily, let's talk about the jujube plant. Jujube as a plant was a catch-all term for the 68 species of shrubs and trees in the, surprise, surprise, Ziziphus genus.
Why do I feel like I've heard that?
I don't know, because it's the funnest word ever.
That must be it.
I don't know. Have you taken any botany classes recently?
No. So I have no idea why I would have heard it. Maybe I'm just thinking of Sisyphus.
It could be Sisyphus. They're unrelated. There's actually, etymologists have noted that there is no relation between Sisyphus and Ziziphus. Weirdly enough,
Yeah.
But the Ziziphus plants, Emily, have grown all over the world for a very long time, from China to India to the Mediterranean, even the US, in fact, 2 jujube trees planted on the US Capitol grounds in the 1870s are still there today.
Wow.
I know,
2.
isn't that like magical? 2, count them 2.
Wow. I mean, I feel like if it's 2, that means like people took care to keep those 2 alive specific. It's not like they're just like growing in a grove. It's like these 2.
They're magical. Listen, there's a lot about these trees. As an example of this plant's long legacy, some traditions purport that the thorny branches of Ziziphus spina Christi, or the Christ's thorn jujube, were used to make the crown of thorns placed on Jesus before his crucifixion. That's how old this tree is. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
Additionally, an ancient tree of the Ziziphus jujuba variety in Al-Qurna, Iraq, is claimed by locals to be the tree of knowledge of good and evil from the biblical Garden of Eden, whence Eve ate of its forbidden fruit.
Wow.
Yeah, like they're like, this is that tree.
This is that tree.
Yeah.
It's a very biblical tree.
It's a biblical tree. Of all the trees, this is the most biblical.
This is the most biblical of all trees.
Yeah. Fun fact, Emily, the Bible never refers to the forbidden fruit as an apple.
I knew that.
How did you know this?
I've just heard that as a fact. And I think I can almost remember that they think it might have been a quince.
Well,
that's one of the theories.
Yeah. Or a jujube.
Oh, is there fruit?
Well, yes, we're going to get to that, Emily. But yeah, so we think that the association between the forbidden fruit and apples, because for a while it was depicted as various fruits in art, but we think the association may have come from a Latin pun, because the Latin word malus could mean both evil and apple tree. Interesting.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah. Malus with a closed vowel A was evil, and malus with an open vowel A was apple tree.
Just ridiculous.
Just ridiculous.
Who's going to hear that difference?
But yes, Emily, so the jujube tree has a fruit. It's a fruit-bearing tree, but the jujube fruits themselves are red or green, fleshy, pitted fruits. Depending on like the species, they're compared to olives, like large olives or plums, but also other fruits, whence it gets its names like jujube plum, Indian date, Chinese date, or even Chinese apple. So it's very possible that the forbidden fruit was indeed a jujube.
Wow.
Another notable incident in Homer's Odyssey, a group of people referred to as lotophagi, or lotus-eaters, are described as spending their days eating the sweet as honey lotus fruit, which got them wasted and made them fall asleep. They were like always sleeping, always kind of stoned people.
And that lotus fruit they think is jujube?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
But yes, yeah, absolutely. So Odysseus, in the story, Odysseus sent 2 of his crew members to check the stuff out because they like stopped in this area.
Right.
The ship stopped there. And he was like, hey, go check out like what they're doing over there.
And then they come back wasted.
Well, he describes the fruit as so delicious that those who ate of it left off caring about home. Like they stopped wanting to. They were like, nah, we'll just stay here. And Odysseus was like, oh, we gotta get away from this stuff now. Stat. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah. Kyle, was the Lotus the name of the casino in Percy Jackson where people went in and never wanted to leave and forgot their lives?
That is a reference to this, Emily. Yep, you got it.
Thank you for clicking that in. Never knew why that place was called the Lotus.
Yeah, which is a fun callback, I guess.
Like a deep cut reference.
Roman mythology. Yeah. So Odysseus continues, though they wept bitterly, I forced them back to the ships and made them fast under the benches. Then I told the rest to go on board at once, lest any of them should taste of the lotus and leave off wanting to get home. So they took their places and smote the gray sea with their oars. I'm just picturing like they like zoomed out of there, like cartoon smoke cloud.
like the revving happened before they started moving, and then they
But yeah, Emily, so good guess. Some scholars believe that they were actually eating the fermented jujubes of Ziziphus lotus, which is another type of Ziziphus tree, not to be confused with water lilies, which is what we modernly call lotuses, right?
Oh.
There's like a different thing.
Mhm.
The ancient Greek lotos, Lotos, was used to refer to a bunch of unrelated plants. It was just like, they just had one word for everything back then. But from this, we get the figurative term lotus-eater, meaning someone with a carefree, idyllic lifestyle.
I've never heard
It's a
that. That's a
lotus-eater.
good phrase.
Yeah. Here's a quote for you, Emily, a good usage of it.
Please.
It's the 2004 article from The Independent, which reads, "Lotus-eaters can recline on the leather chaise longues by the windows before enjoying the jacuzzis in each room."
That's good.
The liquor of the fruit, called jujube broth, was sipped by Italian nobles of the Middle Ages to unwind, giving birth to the phrase, first recorded in 1612, andare in brodo di giugiole, or to go into jujube broth, or turn into jujube broth, essentially meaning to be in a state of bliss, to melt into jujube broth, right?
Because you've drunk so much of it, you are it.
I'm
100% wine.
100% wine. Now, Emily, particularly in Chinese traditional medicine, the jujube was seen as sort of a superfood, right? It was capable of curing anything from insomnia to fighting cancer, right? It could do anything.
Boy, all right, give me some of that.
There's been studies of the effects of jujubes on mice and flies, and it does have like positive effects on their lives, but we don't know if it's specifically because of the jujubes. It could just be, because it's a fruit. It could be any fruit,
just various nutrients in there. Yeah.
But it's no wonder then that that the jujube fruit began to show up as an ingredient in Western confections. Sugary medicated tablets themselves have a long history in Western medication, dating back to at least the 15th and 16th centuries. Emily, do you have any background in medication and how it used to be given to people?
No. I mean, maybe some things will sound familiar once you start talking about it, but I don't know that I have anything I could rattle off other than sort of the image of a plague doctor.
Right. Well, yes. I mean, so we certainly talked about some types of medication. I think that was episode 121. Miasma. We talked about that. But so back in the day, the Middle Ages, Renaissance, sugar was a prized medicinal ingredient. It was perceived as warm and moist. These were two important qualities in the system of the four humors, which we talked about. It was a whole thing in episode 79, Peccant.
Yes.
Basically, the humors, there was, the four humors, but they had four qualities, and it was dry, moist, warm, cold, and you needed to have a balance of things.
Yes.
So the sugar helped. I don't know.
I do like the idea of we need to kill the germs. What environment do germs never grow in? A warm, moist environment.
The warmer, the moister, the better.
That's what they say. Keep your bread in a warm, moist place.
A warm, moist
It'll stay good.
Hey,
all year.
I'm sorry, but I see you've got a loaf of bread there, and it's not sitting in a pool of dirty water surrounded by fungus.
It's not even blue yet. How are you supposed to eat it?
Everybody knows in the Middle Ages there were two kinds of bread. Blue soft bread, fuzzy, fuzzy, and stale rock hard bread.
That's right, because that we keep in a cold, dry place. And then we eat them both, and we're healthy. Balance. So the reason why we see in what we call sweet treats nowadays and sweet recipes from back then, so much sugar is being used is because the apothecaries had these algebraic formulas for determining the percentage of sugar compared to all the other ingredients to make sure that it balanced out. It was, it was nonsense, but that's how they made stuff back then. Is this where we get the idea of lozenges? Like, would this not have been a thing if they didn't think sugar was the cure for everything?
So, Emily, yeah. So apothecaries would then sell lozenges, which were medicated tablets meant to be dissolved in the mouth. It was a paste of sugar and thickener. They would use like some sort of starch at that time, and later it would be like gum arabic they would use. And it would be combined with various spices and herbs, rolled into a sheet, and then cut into diamond patterns.
Into diamond, yep, which is why we call it a lozenge.
Why we call it a lozenge.
As we learned in episode 11, quincunx.
For example, Emily, 16th century physician Andrew Boord suggested in his 1547 Breviary of Health that one remedy for belching as caused by greedy eating was the taking of lozenges made to break wind.
Made to break wind?
Yeah, ones that'll make, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fart lozenges.
Fart lozenges.
Gotta
I have one every morning.
Especially after my fuzzy bread.
The perfect aperitif to my fuzzy bread is my fart lozenges. Dad's gotta have his fart lozenges while he's sitting in his armchair.
Clear the room.
Clear the room. Now, the shape of these lozenges would vary over time. 17th century physician Gideon Harvey suggests in a recipe for the home apothecary for lozenges, the paste being rolled into long round bodies or little columns of the bigness of your little finger. Cut them into small round pieces like parsnips are cut when they are to be eaten buttered. Wow, wow, wow. Cue the B&P alarm. We got it, folks.
Wow, is this the first time we've organically come across a quote mentioning buttered parsnips?
I was just like, how do I not include this in the episode?
Absolutely.
Has to be there. Has to be there.
Wow, but get them out of there because we butter no parsnips.
We certainly don't butter our lozenges.
No, God.
Emily, so around this time, the term confection, which was originally a catch-all, saying that twice this episode, for anything made or prepared, was a confection, right? Essentially from the Latin con, meaning with or together, and faccio, do or make. But the term began to diverge, right? With a confectioner being either a compounder of medicines or a seller of sweets. They started to kind of separate the two.
Just from the popularity of lozenges and other, I guess, sweets that are just sweets?
Partially it's because people just started eating medicine because it tasted good, right? And sugar became less pricey. It became more affordable for regular people. And we stopped thinking that it was medicine, as part of it. Yeah. So, like, the terms still existed there. Like, people still called pharmacists confectioners because they, and for a long time, they were still making, like, these sugary, candies as medicine. But also, people who just made candy were called confectioners.
Well, and wasn't that like an old thing? Maybe not old, but maybe like 1800s, early 1900s, like a pharmacist was also like a soda pop place. It was like a candy store.
I mean, like why?
Like you'd go hang out at the pharmacist.
Coca-Cola had cocaine in it because it was like a cure-all drink. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And actually there was a whole thing about actual drugs and how these like things separated, but I was like, I can't get into that today.
But that is interesting.
But yeah, drugs is where we get candy and soda from, which is just crazy.
We gotta stop.
We gotta stop. But the following century saw jujubes, the fruit, appearing in both types of confectioners' inventories. And by the turn of the 19th century, pâté de jujube, jujube paste, or juju drops were also appearing on their rolls. By 1858, P.L. Simmons's Dictionary of Trade Products defined jujube as being very generally applied by chemists and confectioners to a thickened mucilaginous lozenge.
Mucilaginous.
And pharmacists recommended the treats for ailments from pulmonary disorders to acid fermentation in the stomach or for the cure of colds and coughs.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right, right?
Everything except the pulmonary issues.
Yeah, that one I don't really get all that much, but
stomach stuff, sure. Throat stuff, absolutely.
My guess is the pulmonary issue is probably like heartburn. They were thinking was like a heart issue, An 1834 letter from English actress Fanny Kemble reads, "I have a most horrible cough and sore throat. You may judge of the state of my voice when I tell you that I received from some anonymous kind friend this morning a bottle of cough mixture and all manner of lozenges, jujubes, etc."
Yeah,
right. Emily, for how long jujubes were actually flavored with the fruit jujubes, it's hard to tell. I don't really know. The 1866 Treasury of Botany claimed the lozenges sold as jujubes are commonly but erroneously said to be flavored with the fruit, in favor of things like rose jujubes and licorice jujubes and orange flower jujubes, etc., etc.
Yeah.
One text I saw, nitroglycerin jujubes. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, glycerin could mean a lot of things. The nitro, I don't know what else that could mean.
I know. I mean, it makes me think that they're explosive candies.
Or like
the pop rocks.
Caffeinated, maybe? I don't know.
Possibly, yeah. But Emily, this turned jujubes from medical tablets to simply suckable sweet treats. For example, take Sabin Baring Gould, his 1891 In Troubadour Land, which I think is just his account of traveling through Paris. I'm not quite sure.
Oh, I see. In Troubadour Land. Got it.
Yeah.
I was hearing that as one long word.
In Troubadour Land.
I was thinking like it's a riff on Indubitably.
In Troubadour Land. But the text includes a recollection of a lover's spat between a, quote, young couple, he with an amiable but weak face, she heavy-featured, her only charm her eyes.
Love the way men write about women.
Dear God. He has a carriage ride with this couple, and the male partner, desperate to cheer up his sulky other, the man produced a box of jujubes and offered her one between his thumb and forefinger. She refused it, but thrust her fingers into the box and extracted one for herself. Then she leaned back in the carriage, drew her hat over her face, and exposed to view only a chin and a mole under it that moved up and down as she sucked her jujube.
Amen.
Amen. Good for you.
Heck yeah, girl.
Take it yourself.
Yeah.
Emily, the treats were so sticky sweet that they quickly became associated with childhood nostalgia. For example, in American Josephine Dascom's 1903 story, Julia the Apostate, the titular character, upon being nicknamed Aunt Juju, narrates, strips of unwholesome flesh-colored paste, sugar sprinkled, dear to her childish heart, but loathed by a maturer palate, rose to her mind.
I guess I get that. Like when you think about like the cough syrup that you had to do when you were a kid and you got sick every other week.
I think it's more like, you know how like nowadays things that are just sugar, you're like, I'm not eating that anymore. You know, it's just like, that's too much for me.
I wish
but when
that's
I was
how
a kid,
I
it was
felt.
like, oh, that's fair. That's fair. It's totally fair. Listen, I'm not knocking it. Similarly, D.H. Lawrence uses the treat in analogy in his 1922 novel, Aaron's Rod. No jokes, Emily.
No, none.
No profane jokes about that title.
None. Honestly, my first thought was A-Rod, the baseball player, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's profane too, but in a different way, you know? But in the novel, one character states, I hate married people who are 2 in 1, stuck together like 2 jujube lozenges.
Oh, I mean, that is a cute image, though.
That's cute, right?
Of 2 little lozenges stuck together.
For the furthest figurative extension, Scottish novelist S.R. Crockett's 1908 novel, Deep Moat Grange. No profane joke, Emily.
What would the joke
Stop
be?
it. I know that your mind is in the gutter. But the novelist remarks on the tiny confection size, writing, they don't care a jujube about the matter.
Wow.
today, Emily, Jujubes are probably best remembered from the Haida Candy Company's minuscule movie theater candy drop brand, Jujubes, or their other gummy candy, and a favorite of mine, Juji Fruits, which, though flavored with raspberry, licorice, lime, orange, and lemon, are bizarrely shaped like asparagus bundles, bananas, grapes, pea pods, pineapples, raspberries, and tomatoes. Explain that one.
I don't get that. I've never had Juji fruit, but certainly at the beginning of this episode, when I said I feel like I've heard the word jujube, the candy is what I couldn't think of. And you, left me hanging out to dry and said, Emily, I have no idea why you could have heard this word.
Tell you that. I was going to tell you that.
I was like,
have you had jujubes before?
No, but I was trying to think, like, is there a gum that's called that? Is there
Yeah.
It's the candy. I've seen it in the theater. I've just never had it.
They're like little tiny dots.
They're like Dippin' Dots size?
They're smaller than dots. Like if you've ever had dots, the like gumdrops, they're smaller than those.
Oh, they're like almost sort of jelly bean size, but not like jelly beans.
But, Emily, some still fondly remember the candy style of their childhood. A 2009 Esquire magazine article entitled "The Only Candy a Man Should Eat" states, Jujubes are the perfect combination of adult authority and childish delight, noting adults call them jujubes, not jujubes. I disagree.
That's such a fragile man thing to say.
I know. Oh, Emily, you should read the rest of the article. It's like, I don't know if this will make it to the episode, but it's like watching RFK on a podcast.
God.
It's rough. Talking about rhino horn crushed into.
No.
Don't read Esquire, folks. Don't read it.
Yikes.
And now, Emily, it's time to take your medicine by using jujube in a sentence.
Certainly. I can do this easily. I keep a packet of jujubes in my nightstand because when I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm parched and my throat hurts, I don't want to drink water for some reason, so I have a jujube instead.
I love it, Emily. Perfect. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And for the audience at home, you too can reminisce on these magnificent morsels by leaving a comment with your own sentence using the word jujube.
Please do.
But in the meantime, Emily, would you like to play a game?
Absolutely.
Emily, your game today is called Drop It Like It's Hot. Juju drops weren't the only drop-style candy confection to be born out of the druggist's trade. Oh, I'm sorry. And what's that, Charlemily? You found the golden ticket and want to take frail old Grandpa Joe Kyle with you to the Parsnanka factory? I never thought my life could be anything but a jujube.
Not the Parsnanka factory.
Parsnanka factory.
It's the most cursed thing you've ever said to me. Oh, God.
So, for today's game, I'm going to give you some loose trivia about some of Parsnanka's plop pastilles. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, I
cool.
can't wait.
All right. Sethalumpas, would you roll the young lady to the juicing room, please? I've got intros for each of these questions. Charlemily, a lemon drop is a lemon-flavored sugar plum or hard candy. But which of these is not another definition for a lemon drop?
Oh.
Is it a cocktail of vodka with lemon juice and sugar, a variety of the fruit mangosteen, or a lemon-shaped weight used for fishing?
Well, I know that the cocktail is a cocktail.
We're drinking some right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's why we're
Off screen.
loopy.
That's why we're loopy. Sethalumpas, please bring another cocktail. Thank you.
The Parsnanka factory is a wild time.
It's a wild time. It's a wild ride.
In terms of the other two, I just have to guess, but the fishing one seemed reasonable to me, so I will say that the mango is the odd one out.
Emily,
you got me, huh?
You were right about the drink, but it is a cocktail of vodka with lemon juice and a variety of the fruit mangosteen, called a lemon drop mangosteen. But you just have to know mangosteens to know that, so I don't blame you. You know?
What is a mangosteen as opposed to a mango?
A mangosteen is not even close to a mango.
Oh, what the heck
It's
is
like
that?
pink and has like white chestnutty type fleshy fruits on the inside.
It looks like a
They're hard
lychee,
and-
kind of.
Yeah, I guess it is kind of like a lychee.
Never heard of that in my life. Well, I learned something, so it's all worthwhile.
Lovely, Charlemily. Well, this little gumdrop is a 3-course dinner, Charlemily. What I've got for you here. A gumdrop, of course, is a chewy gelatin-based candy. Can you tell me which of these is a phrase expressing childish delight using the term gumdrop? Is it golly gumdrops, goody gumdrops, or giddy gumdrops?
You said childish delight?
Yes, delight.
That makes
I
me
would
think it's giddy.
Exclaim one of these.
I feel like I've heard the phrase goody gumdrop, but I feel like I've heard it to mean something similar to like a goody two-shoes. So I'll say giddy gumdrop.
Emily, you're overthinking it.
Oh, was it goody gumdrop?
The answer was
Okay.
goody gumdrop.
That's what I said first, so that's the answer that counts.
Yeah, there you go. I'll give it to you. Yeah.
Thanks,
Goody gumdrops or goody gumdrops sometimes can be used sarcastically too, to be like, oh, great, goody gumdrops. All right, Emily, last question. Oh, I think you're gonna be seasick. Try one of these rainbow cough drops, Charlemily, and cough in 7 different colors. Which of these is a slang definition for cough drop?
Oh.
Is it a pungent or disagreeable person or thing, a person who produces a chilling effect, or a lie you tell in order to please someone?
Ooh. I like the idea of that last one. I think it's that one.
God, I did a good job with that with that clue then, huh?
Man, I want that to be that called a cough drop. That's nice.
I know, me
That's
too.
a good slang.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, a cough drop is a pungent or disagreeable person or thing. I mean, I guess.
I guess because
Oh.
sometimes cough drops don't taste nice.
I guess because it's medicine, but the whole point is that they taste nice. They're mostly sugar.
Yeah, but some of them are like more herbaceous than you're expecting. So it's like
Herbaceous. Yeah, all those
And like-
basil and tarragon gumdrops.
when I was a kid, I never liked that honey lemon combo flavor.
That's
And
fair.
I'm still not wild
That's
about
fair.
it.
I love it. I'm all for it. I could use some right now. My voice has been raspy all episode. Well, Emily,
Oh.
you stole the fuzzy loafing drink, so you get nothing. Good day, sir.
Yeah, I poured them all over my
Unfortunately.
bread
You poured them all
to
over
make
your
fuzzy loaves.
bread.
To make fuzzy loaves.
Big fuzzy loaves. There we go. Full circle, everybody. Full circle. Eat your
Yeah.
moldy bread.
Thank you, Kyle. This was a super interesting episode and like a usable word, even though it's like a specific thing. It is an everyday thing. And I liked all of those extensions. I'm going to go back and listen to those and see if I can use those like extended meanings. Those are good.
I think you can. I think you can.
I think I can too. And I also think that I can watch this show on YouTube at Butter No Parsnips. And hey, I don't know who needs to hear this, but you can hang out with us live at twitch.tv/butternoparsnips. Once a month, the B&P crew gets together for a grab bag of word nerdery like trivia, news, research, games, and all kinds of linguistic fun.
And every stream closes with me, Emily, and producer Seth Alumpa working together to complete the Ubercross Abecedaria, the crossword designed by T. Campbell from episode 41 Logology that has over 100,000 clues. Whew.
Yeah. Right now, we're aiming for one of the last 2 Tuesdays of every month, but if you want to be notified exactly when we go live, go follow us at twitch.tv/butternoparsnips, and you'll get an email the second we go live.
And remember, you can find Butter No Parsnips on social media, on Facebook and Instagram at Butter No Parsnips Podcast, and on TikTok at Butter No Parsnips. And you can stay up to date on our streams by following us there as well. And hey, if you like today's episode, consider giving us a 5-star rating or review wherever you heard us.
Ooh, and if you really like today's episode, consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/butternoparsnips. Donating $5 or more gets you exclusive access to Buttered Parsnips, our After Hours podcast.
Thanks so much to all of you. You help us make what we make.
And with that, I've been Emily Moyers.
And I've been Kyle Imperator, and this has been Butter No Parsnips. Butter No Parsnips is produced by Seth Glicksman, Emily Moyers, and myself, Kyle Imperator. The main and accompanying themes were composed by Kyle Imperator.